It's the holiday season, and at work we're doing Secret Santa. So instead of just doing a generic gift like I typically do every year, I decided I'm going to try to make some coasters out of Purple Heart, walnut, and then paddock. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is the first time I'm using these two species of wood. I figure I'll make them each about 4x4. I'll cut these strips down. They're 3/4. I might cut them down to about a 1/2 inch. That way I can get 2 sets out of them. 4x4, make 4 of them. And then I'm also gonna make a little gift for my wife as well. So hope you enjoy this video and let me know what you think. I'll begin by cutting each of these down to 24 inches. I should probably use a different blade, but all I have is just a generic, I believe a Diablo. At some point I'll invest in some better blades, but for now this is what I have, so this is what I'll use. I have very poor dust collection, so I just have orange and purple everywhere. I did hook up the shop vac. It did cut it down a little bit, made a little bit of mess on the floor, but I did think it helped quite a bit. At some point, when I'm more established, I'll get some real actual dust collection. But overall, these cuts went good. I probably need a different blade, as I mentioned previously, for this type of stuff. A little bit of burning of the wood, and then this is, I'm sure, operator error. My technique's poor with it. When I'm pushing through, I always get it stuck on the riving blade, and then it makes these indents and really burns the edge here. I'm thinking that I might plane this down, but I am going to be cutting these into long, thin strips, so I might not plane it down yet. We'll see. I haven't decided just yet. It didn't take me long to change my mind. Definitely going to plane these down first, but I wanted to show you this janky dust collection that I have here with the shop vac. Hopefully this works. This is my least favorite part of a planer. I've only used this thing a few times. Just the amount of mess that it makes and the cleanup that is required. So I'm hoping this cuts it down, but we shall see. All right, the dust collection worked way better than I expected, so I'm gonna keep doing this. It's gonna be unfortunate because I'm gonna have to untape this to put it on the table saw and go back and forth when I'm planing, but that worked a lot better, so it is gonna stay for now. I don't have a solid game plan, but I think what I'll do is I'll cut these down probably, maybe 1/4 inch strips and leave one a little bit bigger, maybe a 1/2 inch. We'll see how much wood I have. These are 2 inches thick, so if I could get 4 1/4 inch strips and 2 1/2 inch strips in theory, but I'll be losing an 1/8 of an inch to the cut. But I think that's what I'll do. I'll cut them down to a few 1/4 inch strips and then see what we have with the 1/2 inch. Because I like to have different sizes in terms of the strips within the actual coaster itself. I'm actually gonna try a few 8-inch strips and see how they do. I'm gonna start on the walnut because I have more walnut. If I screw it up, I can replace it. I really need to invest in a bandsaw. I don't like cutting these thin strips. I don't know how to stop them from shooting off. I don't know if I should have the thin strip on the outside. Somebody wants to tell me, I would greatly appreciate it. I need to go watch some things on that. For the next leftover strips, what I'm going to do is just cut these in half and then use 2 thin strips, one on each coaster. I did make an error There was a piece that didn't get cut for some reason on that last one, so I thought I could just sneak this in here. But what happened is it bowed a little bit and it took a chunk out. So I'm going to have to cut that one shorter no matter what. So I'm gonna lose, probably at least an inch off that wood, but whatever. Not the end of the world. Overall, I'm happy with the outcome. I'm not very good at cutting these thin strips, and it's kind of sketchy, and I don't care for it. I'd like to have a bandsaw to do that, maybe if I do that again. But I do like how they came out. So now I just need to figure out what orientation I want them, and how I'm going to do it. I was thinking I was going to be able to make 2 different sets. I don't know where my head was, but these are just barely over 4 inches. It's like 4 inches and a 16th. So I'm going to have to just kind of play with these and see what I like, and then glue them up. I think I like that pattern. I have a couple extra, but they don't fit. All right, now we're time for the glue up. I have a little bit of a tight space. My normal workbench where I try to glue things up with is just a mess at the moment, so I need to clean it up. So I'll be using this right here. We'll see how it goes. I usually like to work right to left, but I think with the way these clamps are, I'm gonna work left to right. That way I can push them up against this side that doesn't actually scoot and move. Right in the middle of this, you're gonna clog. There's quite a few things you might see me do that I would not recommend doing. Lots of room to improve with my glue up and everything and getting the system down. Yeah, pretty sketchy, like a few of the things I do, but I am gonna get better, and I think it's still gonna turn out all right. I've been able to get to this for a couple of days, so I'm just taking it off now. It's definitely dry. The plan is to scrape off glue if I need to, and then run it through the planer. Should have scraped it off maybe 4 hours after I glued it up, but I was not available to do so. So it's now, that was Tuesday, we are now Friday. I'd prefer to not gum up the planer, but I might have to. I'm gonna start with 120, just given the fact the planer took it down pretty smooth. Plan now is to just cut these edges, make them square on both, and then I'll get the exact size so I can keep each coaster equal. I'm using this Harbor Freight, I don't know, it's a miter jig. I should probably make my own jig, but I have not gotten there yet. That hopefully will happen in the very near future. Probably make a video about that for those that are interested. I mean, as you can tell, most of my stuff is for beginner people. If you're advanced, this is probably not where you want to be watching unless you find some entertainment value, and then maybe you might want to watch. Did not go as well as you saw. It pinched in there. I had this too tight, and it did kick back, which seems to be common. I think I need to put a spacer on here when I do this, so that when I'm cutting, it's not tight up against the fence and it doesn't produce that type of kickback, because I was not expecting that. I thought it would go right through, and it just, yeah, it shot, caught me off guard. But I'll make sure next time I put a little 2-inch spacer. So I'll put the stop at 6 inches versus the 4 inches that I had it. All right, now I'm gonna put a little round over on all of this. I might do it on both sides, and then I'll give it a sand down, especially on these edges. That got a little beat up specifically. That edge there got really beat up with that kickback that I had. So we're writing that down. This wasn't my original plan, but I didn't have the router set properly, but I'm not mad at it. I am actually quite okay with that. I think that looks kind of nice. So, rinse and repeat. And now it's time to give these a good sand. This one especially here, I don't know if you can see it in there. That's from when I had the kickback with the other one. That was the side that was on the sled itself and outside the kickback. So it has a little bit of a curve to it. It's not perfect. I'm gonna sand that one down. Well, I'm gonna sand all of them down and see how they look, and then I'll have to work on giving them a finish. This one has a similar issue on that side where the blade kind of messed it up a little bit, and then I do have a little bit of a chip on this one. But they're not perfect, but I think they will work really well, especially after I get them sanded up and finished and all of that. I don't like that gap in this one, but it is what it is. So if I had the equipment, the proper thing probably to do once I cut these is if I had like a little belt sander or something, I could just get all of this off prior to putting shape on them. I'm having a hard time getting all of the burn marks removed, but I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. I think whoever gets these will be appreciative, I hope. I mean, for the effort that was put into it. But the next step will be to figure out what I want to do for the finish. I'm not sure if I want to spray them down or put like an oil type finish on it. I will need to go stop by the store and pick something up, but I'll take a look at what they have. And then at that point, they'll be all complete. So I wasn't planning on filming any of this, but I'm gonna make a holder for the coasters. This is gonna be the bottom. It's just slightly wider around the edges than the coasters themselves. It's the two different types of wood, that zebra and that, or not the zebra, the purple heart and the paddock. I'm just gluing them up in the center. And then what I'm doing here, I haven't got finished it yet, but I'm gonna glue these at 90s, and basically they're gonna hold the corners there so they can slide in. I'll just glue these edges to the bottom panel here, and then you can just drop them inside. I did set up a jig over here with the scroll saw. This helped out a lot to get 45-degree angles. They weren't perfect, but it was much safer than trying to do it on the table saw. And also when I cut these little squares in half, I set up a jig on that scroll saw too to cut these in half so I could just slide them through with that. Much safer, much easier. But yeah, just give you a kind of a idea of where I am at and what's going on, but I don't think I'm going to film too much of this until I get to the end. So these are the original corner pieces that I'm going to make for the coaster holder, I would say. I didn't get the 45s perfect, so I was going to use some wood filler and fill them in. Then I also cut some other ones that are thicker, and actually it looks nicer. There will still be, some imperfections, but these are really solid. So I think I'm gonna use the wood filler, fill these in, and see how they look. I would like to just use these ones. I think they will go well also. They'll be sturdy enough the way that I'm building the actual holder. So that is what I'm going to do now. This dab here. Filler out. Timely fashion. This is more of a how not to use wood filler than a how to. All right, we're gonna let this dry for a little bit. 2 to 6 hours. Oh wow, okay. A lot longer than I was anticipating. I'm gonna use this Varathane spar urethane oil based, and it's an exterior finish to put on here to waterproof these since they are coasters. That way if things, you
you have a glass that sweats like a beer glass, or a hot glass of lemonade if that's your thing, or iced tea. That'll help kind of waterproof it. I've made these little blocks. I just put screws through the bottom to kind of keep them up in the air. I am going to spray the back sides first, just to be on the safe side, in case for some reason it doesn't go well. I need to get a different finish, but that's what I'm going to do for now. I did do a test piece. It seems to be doing okay. I'm going to have to do a couple coats and sand in between. You can see right here it's a little bit heavy. Hopefully it's not the end of the world. This is supposed to be the base of the holder for the coasters themselves. I glued these two pieces together, just trying to give it a little bit more thickness of the walnut and then the Purple Heart and the paddock. And I just put weights on top and think that it would smash it together. But now that I came back, there's a big gap. Basically all around there's gapping. Focus in there a little bit. There we go. Even on this side, yeah, with that. Not as bad on this one, but definitely this edge here, it's terrible. I'm gonna try to put some that wood filler in there, see if this makes a difference at all. If not, I might have to scrap it and come up with a new idea, but here's one of my mistakes. All right, so I came back, this is the next day, put that wood filler to fill in the gaps that I had, and then just sanded it down. It's not perfect, but it did a pretty dang good job. It's acceptable. I mean, it looks significantly better. I mean, this side, you can tell you have this brown line through there, but not the end of the world. At least it's all closed up. And then now I can put the edges on here and then finish this. And then I still need to put another finish coat on the coasters themselves. But should be hopefully wrapping up with this today. I'm gonna glue these corners on. I'm thinking of using this super glue because it holds quicker, but I just like wood glue better. We're gonna try one with the super glue, see how it does. If it's a fail, then we'll do the rest with the wood glue. And I'm putting a generous amount on here. It's not the tightest corner because it's a little bit curved. That might work out really well. Okay. I think we're gonna super glue them all. Overall, this looks good. I did get a little excited and put too much in that corner. I mean, but these are holding well. So now I'll be able to finish this. I think it looks, I'm happy with it. And with Secret Santa, you get what you get. Here's the finished product. Turned out to my liking. I would like to add a little bit more finish to the back here. I just don't have time to do it, so it's going to be a little bit of a dull finish. But other than that, nice and smooth. The actual coasters themselves, I'm happy with how they turned out as well. I think they look pretty good. I think this will be a good Secret Santa gift. So if you enjoyed any of this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see me make. And I appreciate you coming along for this journey. All right, we'll see you later.